But on both sides are reacting after a judge decides a lawsuit challenging our state's abortion ban can continue. As we first alerted you, the ban went into effect after the U.S. Supreme Court overturned the landmark Roe v. Wade ruling. Our Emily Roberts is in the studio with a First Alert update on where this case stands right now. Emily.
Bill, Attorney General Josh Kaul filed a lawsuit in Dane County days after Roe v. Wade was overturned, trying to repeal the state's ban. And 3 doctors joined the lawsuit as plaintiffs, saying they fear being prosecuted for performing abortions. Sheboygan County District Attorney Joel Urmanski filed the motion seeking to dismiss Kaul's case in December. Kaul argues the ban is too old to enforce, while Urmanski feels the opposite. Today, Dane County Circuit Judge Diane Schlipper wrote in her motion denying Urmanski's dismissal. She says she interprets the legal language in the 1849 law as prohibiting people from killing fetuses by assaulting or battering the mother and doesn't apply to consensual abortion. Kaul and Wisconsin Right to Life's legislative director, Gracie Skogman, responding to the judge's refusal to toss out the lawsuit this afternoon.
Of course, we are disappointed in the result and disappointed in the precedent that this sets for women and unborn children in our state.
Today's ruling is a major victory for those of us who want to restore access to safe and legal abortion in Wisconsin.
After this, Kaul says the case likely moves toward final judgment, but there's still the possibility of appeals. Action 2 News reached out to District Attorney Urmanski. He says he's been in court all day and unable to review the decision, so he can't comment right now. We're continuing to follow this story and will be the first to alert you as soon as new information comes out. Bill?